You're watching Byline Wilmington on CBS 10 WILM. Here's your host, Don Ansell.
Bob Odom, the general manager for Titan Cement's subsidiary Carolina Cement, that's building, we said the fourth largest cement plant in the country, but you said after other plants have upgraded and enlarged, it would be a little...
It would be about the 8th or 9th. It's still a big plant.
It's still a big plant. A recent Superior Court judge did a ruling on SEPA, which is the State Environmental Policy Act, that now prohibits Titan from getting an air quality permit before a comprehensive environmental review is conducted. And some, I've been reading a lot of letters to the editor. Some people, a majority of the people actually that I've read, say, why should Titan not have to jump through those hoops?
Well, that's an important question, and there's a lot of bad information out about that. First of all, Titan was following the process and the procedure prescribed by the state. The state said we did not have to go through SEPA. When the governor was here a couple of months ago for the power breakfast, she again said Titan does not have to go through SEPA. And that's why we weren't going through it. We weren't trying to avoid anything. People say we're trying to avoid something. Well, that is not the case.
Weren't there internal emails sent to various players in the Titan camp suggesting ways to get around SEPA?
It depends on how you want to interpret those emails. We're trying to figure out how to do business in North Carolina, so we're asking questions. People use emails to ask questions. So it depends on which side of the fence you're looking at. You know, I would say no. You know, we're asking questions. How does this work? What can we do? What do we need to do? So I don't see any wrongdoing in those emails.
And just for our viewers who may not be aware of what SEPA is, again, it's the State Environmental Policy Act, and it lays out, I think it's 4 qualifications that if you fall under any of those 4, you have to follow a certain...
I think we'd have to get all of them, all 3.
You have to be 3 of the 4.
I have to get 3.
And there was to follow a certain set of qualifying standards. Titan said they didn't qualify for under SEPA, and the opponents to Titan said they did. It went to court, and the court ruled on the side of the folks that thought you did qualify under SEPA.
Now, the big point is, and what we need to get clarified, everything under SEPA would have been covered under NEPA with the Corps of Engineers. People think that something would be missed, that SEPA is a more stringent requirement. That is totally false, and people that make that statement don't understand the way it works.
Well, those opposing the project say that the extra time that the SEPA qualifying rules call for are a small price to pay considering what they consider is at stake. How do you answer that?
Again, everything covered under SEPA would have been covered under NEPA. The only difference is if we'd have gotten the air permit now and then going through the Corps of Engineers work, the NEPA, we could have started specifying equipment, could even potentially ordering equipment. People are concerned that if we had the air permit, we could start building the plant, start running the plant. The Corps of Engineers would say, okay, we're going to get this rollover and let you have the EIS permit, which is incorrect. We could start building the plant. But why would we? We have a little bit of material on site where it's been mined for 30, 40 years, and we could run the plant for a short period of time. But any businessman would not start a plant and stop it knowing we had to go through the Corps of Engineers also.
Some say, to talk to that point, that being able to invest large sums of money in equipment and purchase, and plant development before getting an air permit increases the probability of getting the proper permitting because of the money already expended, and that is taken into consideration in some of the agencies that deal in the permitting process.
I have met a couple times with the Corps of Engineers in some of their meetings, and I didn't get that impression at all. That we have a lot of levels we have to go through, a lot of questions we have to answer. So to say that they would be impacted that way, I think that's unfair to their professionalism.
So the project cannot move forward without an air quality permit?
That's why we have the air permit, we have the EIS permit, yeah.
And Titan is appealing that ruling?
What we have done, we filed a notice to appeal. Once the judge issued his decision, you had to file an appeal within 30 days. So we don't normally talk about legal issues, that's our policy, but I'll explain this. We filed a notice to appeal, and that gives us a chance to study the effect of his decision. Now, whether we are or not,
but it leaves it open past 30 days.
That's right, and that's why we did it, just to get in line, basically.
What do you think is going to happen?
Right now, we're working on SEPA. That's our plan right now.
Now, if you appeal, and the decision stands on appeal, what would happen?
We have to go through SEPA. The timeline will be pushed further out to build our plant. And this is another point that people don't talk about. It gets pushed out, therefore we can't start building the plant. We can't have 1,000 people working on site for 2 years building it. We can't hire 160 people to work at the plant. We can't go through Cape Fear Community College to train people to work at the plant, and we hope to hire all 160 people right here in New Hanover County.
Does that, or if you go to appeal and the decision stands, would that weaken Titan's resolve to build the plant here?
No, it would not. We still think it's a good project. We still know North Carolina is going to need the cement, because people want to move to North Carolina. It's a good place to be. We will need cement. Most of it's imported right now.
Imported from?
It could be from China, Vietnam, Venezuela.
What about Roanoke in your plant today?
We send some from Roanoke, also from Harleyville down in South Carolina. But once the market picks up again, cement plants like to ship close to home. A lot of the Harleyville cement will go to Atlanta once it gets busy. Roanoke will ship closer to Roanoke. In 2005,
in other words, those plants can't produce enough.
We cannot
for
produce
the
enough
for the needs of
for North Carolina.
For North Carolina.
For North Carolina.
So, are you saying it's less expensive to purchase?
Freight's a big part of moving cement around.
We were talking about the public money. How vital is the public money to the project?
Again, it showed good faith that New Hanover County wanted us here.
But you had already purchased the land.
We've had the land purchased for a long time ago, even before we started thinking about the incentive.
Does the opposition say something else to you now? You say the money showed good faith that New Hanover County wanted you,
but again, the people think we have already been paid money.
Right.
And we're saying we have received nothing. We have to earn this money. So to say give back $4.2 million, well, there's no $4.2 million to give back.
We'll come back with Bob Odom, General Manager for Carolina Cement, that's the Titan subsidiary, and talk more about this project. Stay with us.